Welcome back to another New World video. This time we have the ultimate guide, and it's another arena one. It's the last of the arenas in the three of the series. This time it's the Eden Grove Arena, also known as the Zygoramet, which I don't think anybody actually calls it. They just tend to tell you, you know, the Eden Grove Arena in the global chat if that's what you see. Through this video, we'll go through the rewards that you get once you complete it. We'll go through like what the boss fight is like. We'll show you the boss fight on the screen. I'll show you the tactics, the group makeup that you need, the rough gear score or gear in general that you might need, and then the weapons, the good weapons to use and the bad weapons to use. And then at least you'll know the next time that you go in, especially if you're a DPS class, you know, the reason why you might have failed it, if you have in the past, is because you probably took the wrong weapons in and your DPS was pretty poop. So yeah, but what's also interesting in this video is I'll clip it up a little bit, but I'll show you the fight because one of our members in the group, they actually disconnected halfway through the fight, which slows us down a little bit. They managed to come back and then we still finish off the fight in time, just about in the end. But normally it's quite easy once you follow these few steps. But let's get into the fight. I'll commentate over it, I'll give you all the strats, and then we'll go from there. Okay, first things first, where is this arena, just in case you've never seen it before? So if you open up your map and you head over to Eden Grove towards the top right, and then you look for this shrine here, it's the Elysian Shrine. And basically you'll fast travel here, and then just, I'll zoom in a little bit for you, just above here is the Zygoramet Grove, the Eden Grove Arena. It's Angry Earth. It says recommended level 66. Obviously that's not possible, that's just a mob which is level 66 with all the end game mobs in this. Recommended place is obviously 5. But here's where it is anyway, so you know how to get for it. You literally just fast travel here, and then you just run over to this shrine, and here's where you enter. Now, how to make the key, unless you're going to buy one from the global chats, which every server is differently, but they tend to charge anywhere from 300 to 500 gold on this server. On the stone cutting table, you want to be at least level 50 for stone cutting. Apologies in my previous 2 arena videos where I keep reading out 200 stone cutting, that's because I always go to the bottom. You want to be 50 stone cutting, and you want to look for the Menicius, if I'm pronouncing that right, tuning orb. All you need is 1 star metal chisel. You can get them from your faction vendors. They're pretty cheap, basically free almost these days. You need 3 runestone, which on average sell for about 150 gold a piece on our server from the TP, unless you want to craft them yourself. You need 1 energy core, which you can make with moats, and then you need 3 of these firefox, which you can also buy from the TP. Again, every server is different, anywhere from 20 to 50 gold a piece. So yeah, there you go, level 50 stone cutting. There's how you make it. There's where the fight is. Let's get into the footage of the actual boss fight, and we'll run through the strats. Okay, here we have ourselves at the start of the arena door. We've entered in now. Basic strats. This one a little bit different to the other 2 arenas, because you definitely want to dedicate to tanking here 100% with the big tower shield. You obviously want 1 full healer, and then you want 3 DPS. We'll go through the weapons in a minute, but the tank is a little bit more important here because he does so many big heavy attacks. You can dodge a couple of them, but in general you do want to be using that block quite a lot. And I would weapons, in my personal opinion, obviously sword and shield for your tanking. My second weapon, I would definitely go with the hatchet though. We'll explain why the hatchet more in a minute, but there's some specific abilities on there that you want to use because of how this fight works. Now, as you can see here with the fight, the boss here, Zygoramet, he's launching himself all over the place. You've always got aggro as the tank unless you're doing something wrong, but he'll just swing around everywhere. There's not a lot you can do about that. You can't basically rein them in and hold them into just like a specific small area, which is a bit of a shame. Now, one thing to be also a little bit aware of since the latest update, try not to tank them too far around the edges, because what happens in this fight, which you might see at some point unless we skip past it, the boss resets. We're just fighting him casually near the edge of the arena, and he just resets. The time doesn't reset, but his health resets, so that's where you're going to be a little bit careful. As you can see, the time on there started about 15 minutes. All you've got to do is DPS this guy down within that time. So you got your 3 DPS. I would advise, in fact no, we'll go through the weapons next. Actually, I'll tell you why, because there's one key thing about this arena which is a little bit different to all of the others. What this boss does incrementally, it can happen 4 or 5 times depending on how fast or slow your DPS is. He'll curl up into like a ball and then roll away, and they put this like little shield cocoon up, and at that moment you have to DPS this shield cocoon down as quickly as possible. Here he's doing it now, I think, because whilst he's in this shield cocoon, he's actually healed himself. If you can see in there close enough, he healed, and this is the most annoying thing about this. If your DPS is really slow at this point, you'll be here all day. A really, really good thing to do, for example, this is why I also use the hatchet as the second weapon. Get something with like weaken or disease on there, because what that'll do is actually reduce the amount of healing that the boss does. Now, I can't guarantee that this actually fully effectively works on this boss. It should do. It's really hard to tell because you'd have to watch his health and see exactly how much it ticks up with and without applying the weakness and disease. For example, on the infected throw on the hatchet, and then obviously some bow skills or whatever. There's some other skills out there that do it as well. But it's something that you should definitely do because in principle it should work on this boss. So make sure you know you're carrying that up. And as you see here, he's launched himself around. He's constantly healing himself. But that's the biggest mechanic on this fight. When this cocoon goes up, throw in any rends you can before the shield goes up. Rends will also help you bring down that shield a lot faster as well. Now, we'll go through the weapons. Because this is Angry Earth, the two best types of weapons to use against it will be either fire or slash, okay? So with your slash, you've got sword, you've got hatchet, and you've got great axe, okay? They are really, really effective against this boss. And then obviously fire, you can either add your ruby gems to any of your weapons, or you could like the fire staff, of course. These are really, really important. If you see a bunch of people asking to join, for example, with like thrust weapons or whatever, you're probably thinking, hang on a minute, can you not change to these slash damage, because these are really, really important. In terms of like neutral damage, weapons that are okay to take in here, but they're not the best for DPS, you could take strike damage in like warhammers. You could take in ice damage, nature damage, void, and arcane. All of those will just do like a plain neutral damage. They won't be really effective, but they won't be like hampered compared to thrust damage and lightning damage. You definitely do not want to have any lightning gems on any of your weapons, and you don't want to have any thrust weapons. So if you see it like a spear bow or a rapier bow or something like that user wants to come into this as a DPS, basically just let them know politely that they're using the complete wrong weapons. This is the part of the fight there, as you can see. We were fighting them towards the edge of the area of the arena, and we were all like, what has just happened? Why did you just reset? Basically, they put a fix in. Some people were trying to like I don't know, cheese some of these bosses in the game. Not this one more specifically, because I don't think we've ever cheesed this boss. I don't even know how to do it. But essentially, you cheese it by kiting it towards the edge of the arena and then it gets stuck and stuff. We were just fighting it as normal, and it's just, yeah, I don't know what's happened there. It's just kind of like, yeah, it's just reset itself. So definitely be aware of that. In general, as the tank, you just want to be tanking general tanking stuff, you know. As you can see, all these big heavy attacks, block them as much as you can. DPS, you want to be doing a couple of little dodges here and there as well. Obviously try and backstab it as much as you can. But yeah, that's the overall fight, you know. As you can see, some of the mechanics that it's doing here, they're mostly big heavy attacks. You've got plenty of time to just step back as a tank and move out with some of these, you know, keep your stamina nice and high if you're doing the full blocks. But that's the key thing. Everything you're seeing on screen here, this is the key part of the fight. I'll skip through this video a little bit, because what you'll probably see, there you go, on that top left hand side now, you should see that one of our teammates there, Kara13, disconnected through the fight. So we were down to just 2 DPS players, 1 healer, 1 tank, and I was like, oh god, what am I going to do? What I attempted to do, this is why I like to use as the tank, the hatchet is the second weapon. You can put on your berserk so you don't get knocked down for a couple of seconds whilst you're in there. I think it's like 15 seconds, I think, for berserk. I have to double check that. And then that means you can basically just try and do as much DPS as you can. On one of your throw and hatchet skills, you've got rend, and on the other you got like the weakened disease, which will reduce the healing. I'll skip through the video a little bit, because essentially we do a little bit of slow DPS for a while until Kara makes it back, and then once we're back to a full team, we eventually just knock him down in time. So I'll skip through a little bit, because you've seen most of the fight now. As you can see on the time there, 5 minutes we're getting down to now, 4 minutes we're getting down to, 3 minutes we're getting down to, and then Kara's back now. We've got all 5 members. I'll skip it a little bit more just so you can see the very end of the fight. There you go. And then, as you can see, it's not too bad. We'll now go through the rewards, okay? 50 umbral shards when you complete this. 1 chest, which we'll also speak about the chest as well. These are like the biggest, and then obviously your gypsum as well, okay? You get your gypsum in there, which isn't too bad. I'll just chuck this back in the middle of the video so you got something on in the background. But essentially, there you go. You know the best weapons to use in here now. You know the team makeup to use in here. You know all the mechanics of the fighting, and you know the rewards. Speaking about those rewards, the chest in here is really valuable at the moment. You can potentially get these golden schematics, which means you can craft them so long as you've got 200 armor in, I think it is. You don't need any of the buffs or anything like that, and you can get a guaranteed 600 gear score. Obviously, you can pick one of the perks. The other 2 are random, but it's guaranteed 600 gear score. Now, these on our server sell anywhere from 6 to 20 plus K, depending on exactly which one it is, heavy, medium, light. So I would definitely advise farming these if you need your shards, if you need your gypsums for extra shards, and then if you want some of those schematics to either make some money or to craft yourself some of these decent armor. But guys, that is the ultimate guide. I can't think of anything else to tell you in terms of this fight. You've seen it on here as we're commentating over it. And all I can say is, guys, if you've enjoyed this video, if it's helped you out, drop a like. That would really, really help out this video. We're trying to grow our subscriber count as well. We're getting plenty of views on some of the videos, you know, 400 or 500 views on some of our arena guide videos. Some of our guide videos. So yeah, if you want to drop some subs to help us out, move towards 50, move towards 100 and plus on, that'll be really nice. And then also check out my Twitch channel. If you look, just take 2 seconds out, okay? We don't make any money or anything like this from these kind of videos. All I'm after is a couple more viewers, some more people to talk about New World with in the streams, and obviously some more people to comment down below and keep the New World content coming. So yeah, Twitch link is down below. Subscribe to the channel, that'll be amazing. Drop a like and some comments down below. But guys, see you in the next one.